Everywhere you turn today, something is fighting for your attention. Your phone lights up, your mind wanders, and before you realize it, the day has slipped right through your fingers. You tell yourself you'll focus tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. The truth is, we're living in a world designed to keep us distracted. And the person who learns to focus now will own the future. Focus isn't about talent, intelligence, or even time. It's about control. Control over what gets your energy, your thoughts, and your effort. The most successful people aren't necessarily smarter. They've just mastered the ability to direct their attention toward what truly matters and ignore everything else. If you can learn to do that, to silence the noise, calm your thoughts, and pour all your energy into one direction, you'll become unstoppable. You'll stop starting over. You'll finish what you begin. You'll think clearer, move faster, and finally feel that quiet confidence that comes from knowing you're in command of your life. This isn't about working harder, it's about working right. The power to stay focused, that's the real secret to success, peace, and progress. Stay with me for the next few minutes as I show you how to master your mind, build unstoppable concentration, and become a focused machine. Let's dive in. Number 1. Stop letting the world control your attention. Look around you. Everyone is busy, yet very few are truly productive. People wake up and instantly reach for their phones, not even realizing that the very first decision of their day is being made by someone else. A message, a post, a notification, and just like that, their attention is stolen. They spend their day reacting instead of creating. They become puppets in a world that profits from their distraction. You can't build a focused life when your attention is for sale. Every app, every headline, every ping is designed to pull you away from your purpose. And here's the truth. What you give your attention to grows. If you constantly feed your distractions, they'll grow stronger. But if you feed your focus, your life begins to shift. You start controlling your hours instead of watching them disappear. You must begin each day with awareness. Before you open your phone, before you scroll, before you dive into the noise, pause and decide what truly matters today. The world will offer you endless options, but your power lies in your ability to say no. You don't owe every text a reply. You don't have to check every alert. The world can wait. Your growth cannot. Start protecting your attention like it's gold, because it is. Every focused hour is an investment in your future. Every wasted one is a donation to someone else's agenda. Build habits that defend your focus. Silence notifications. Plan your priorities. Set times for deep work. Even a small boundary, like the first hour of your day being completely distraction-free, can change everything. You'll notice something powerful happen when you do this. The noise fades, and clarity appears. You'll begin to think deeply again. You'll start finishing what you start. You'll stop feeling rushed, because you're finally in control of your time instead of being controlled by it. Most people think they need more motivation, but what they really need is fewer distractions. Focus doesn't require intensity all the time. It requires ownership. Ownership over your thoughts, your attention, your energy. When you take back control of your focus, you take back control of your future. So stop letting the world decide what deserves your attention. Decide for yourself. Choose where your mind goes, and everything else in your life will follow. Because in a world that's constantly trying to pull you in every direction, the person who can stay centered, calm, and focused will always be ahead. Number 2, build a morning ritual that locks you in. The first hour of your morning sets the rhythm for everything that follows. If you begin the day in chaos, your mind stays scattered. But when you start with order, calm, and purpose, you command the entire day before it even begins. The morning is not just the start of your day, it's the foundation of your focus. Most people wake up reacting, checking their phones, reading messages, scrolling through news, diving into the noise before their mind even wakes up. They hand over their peace to the world before they've had a chance to own it. That's not living with control. That's living on autopilot. You can't build focus if your morning belongs to everyone else but you. The secret is simple. Create a morning ritual that locks you in, mentally, physically, and emotionally. A ritual that reminds you every day who's in charge of your mind. It doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need an expensive routine or 2 hours of silence on a mountaintop. What you need is consistency. Start with something that centers your mind. It could be a few minutes of quiet reflection, journaling your thoughts, or simply sitting in gratitude. You see, the goal isn't to impress anyone. The goal is to control your energy before the world pulls at it. Then move your body. Exercise, stretch, walk. Do something that tells your brain, it's time to wake up and take charge. Physical movement sharpens the mind. It gives you momentum, and momentum builds confidence. You're no longer dragging yourself through the day. You're driving it. Next, plan your priorities. Write down the top 1 or 2 things that truly matter today. Not 10, just 1 or 2. The world will throw 100 small things at you. But if you don't decide what's important first, everything will seem urgent. You can't do everything, but you can do the right thing. And do it well. Protect this ritual like your life depends on it. Because in many ways it does. The person you become tomorrow depends on what you do every morning. Don't let anyone interrupt this time. Not your phone, not social media, not even the opinions of others. This is your training ground for focus. When you begin your morning in silence, with purpose, and with a plan, you'll notice something powerful happen. You won't need to chase motivation anymore. The discipline of your routine becomes the motivation itself. You'll feel more grounded, more confident, and more in control. Your morning ritual doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be yours. Whether it's 10 minutes or an hour, the point is to start your day with intention instead of distraction. Because when you win your morning, you win your focus, and when you win your focus, you win your life. The world belongs to those who start their day on their own terms, not to those who let the world decide for them. Number 3, kill the noise before it kills your dreams. Noise isn't just sound. It's everything that steals your peace, scatters your thoughts, and keeps you from hearing your own mind. It's the constant chatter, the opinions of others, the flood of information that keeps your brain busy, but your life stagnant. Most people don't even realize they live surrounded by noise, digital, emotional, and mental. They wake up to it, they fall asleep to it, and in between they wonder why they can't focus, why they feel drained, why their goals never move forward. If you want to become a focused machine, you must kill the noise before it kills your dreams. That means learning to value silence again. Not the kind of silence that feels empty, but the kind that feels powerful. The silence where clarity lives. Because clarity doesn't come from noise. It comes from stillness. Look at your surroundings right now. Is your environment built for focus or for distraction? A cluttered desk, a noisy room, a messy phone screen. They all pull your attention in 100 directions. Clean your space, and you'll feel your mind clean up too. You can't think clearly in chaos. Simplify where you work, where you think, and where you rest. The less your eyes have to manage, the more your brain can perform. But physical clutter is only half the battle. Mental noise is even louder. The endless thoughts of doubt, comparison, and worry, they block your focus like static on a radio. You can't receive clear signals when your mind is full of interference. So learn to quiet it. Journal your thoughts. Meditate. Step away from the noise of social media and opinions for a while. You don't need to consume every piece of information to stay relevant. You need to protect your mind to stay sharp. Understand this. Noise is not harmless. Every unnecessary input you allow in takes up mental energy that could be used for your dreams. You can't build something meaningful while your attention is scattered. You can't chase excellence while you're drowning in trivial distractions. Every great idea, every breakthrough moment in history came from someone who was able to think deeply. And you can't think deeply when your mind is full of noise. Make silence your strategy. Schedule quiet time each day where you do nothing but think, plan, or simply breathe. You'll be amazed at how your focus returns. Ideas start forming again. Motivation returns naturally. You don't need another productivity hack. You need peace. Because noise is the enemy of progress. The world will always try to shout louder, but your power lies in your ability to turn down the volume and listen to your own direction. So clean your space, clear your mind, and protect your silence like it's sacred. That silence is not empty, it's full of answers. And when you find that quiet, you'll find your focus again. Number 4, train your brain like an athlete trains for the game. Every athlete knows that talent alone isn't enough. It's the training, the daily grind, the repetition, the discipline that separates the amateur from the elite. The same principle applies to your mind. Focus isn't something you wake up with one morning. It's something you train for every single day. Your brain is a muscle. And like every muscle, it gets stronger the more you challenge it. But most people treat their focus casually. They expect to concentrate for hours while living in constant distraction. That's like expecting to run a marathon after sitting on the couch for a year. You can't perform at a high level if you haven't trained your mental endurance. The truth is, focus is built through effort, deliberate, consistent effort. Start small. Set aside time each day where you give your full attention to just one task. No phone, no music, no interruptions. At first, it'll feel uncomfortable. Your mind will wander. You'll feel restless. That's your untrained brain resisting discipline. But stay with it. Just like lifting weights, every repetition strengthens your ability to stay in the zone longer. You must also understand the power of warm-up. An athlete doesn't jump into a game cold. They stretch, they breathe, they focus. You need a similar ritual for your mind. Before you start working, prepare yourself. Clear your workspace. Take a few deep breaths. Visualize what you're about to accomplish. When your brain knows it's game time, it performs differently. You're no longer reacting, you're directing. And just like an athlete needs recovery, your mind needs rest too. Focus isn't about grinding endlessly. It's about knowing when to push and when to recharge. If you work your brain non-stop, it burns out. And burnout kills performance faster than any distraction. So schedule downtime intentionally. Walk, reflect, or simply disconnect. Rest is not laziness. It's preparation for your next burst of power. Training your brain also means feeding it the right things. What you read, watch, and listen to either strengthens your focus or weakens it. If you constantly consume shallow content, you train your brain to crave stimulation instead of depth. But if you feed it meaningful material, books, ideas, quiet thinking, your mental muscles grow sharper, stronger, and more disciplined. Consistency is the secret. A little focused training every day builds incredible power over time. One day you'll notice that tasks which once took hours now take minutes. You'll notice that you can work deeply while others are easily distracted. You'll realize that you've built something rare, mental toughness. So treat your focus like an athlete treats their sport. Practice it, protect it, respect it. Every time you resist a distraction, you're strengthening your discipline. Every time you stay with a task until it's done, you're building mental endurance. When you train your brain with that same level of seriousness, you stop living like everyone else and start performing like a professional in the game of life. Number 5, do one thing like it's the only thing. If you want to know the real reason most people stay average, here it is. They try to do everything at once. They jump from task to task, from idea to idea, never giving anything their full attention. Their hands are everywhere, but their mind is nowhere. They confuse being busy with being productive. But the truth is, divided attention leads to divided results. You can't go deep when you're always skimming the surface. The greatest breakthroughs don't come from multitasking. They come from single-minded focus. Every masterpiece, every invention, every great achievement in history was born from someone who locked in on one thing until it was complete. When you give something your full, undivided attention, you unlock a level of clarity and power that scattered effort will never produce. Multitasking is a trap that feeds your ego, but starves your progress. It makes you feel productive while your work loses depth and meaning. Doing one thing with total focus may feel slower at first, but it's faster in the long run because it eliminates rework, confusion, and half-done results. Success loves precision, not chaos. So start practicing the art of doing one thing like it's the only thing that exists. When you write, just write. When you listen, just listen. When you work, give it your full self. Don't let your mind wander to what's next. Be where your hands are. The power of presence is what separates those who finish strong from those who never finish at all. If you find your attention drifting, pause and bring it back. That moment of awareness is your training ground. Focus, after all, is not about perfection. It's about returning. Every time your mind tries to escape, pull it back with intention. That's how focus grows stronger, just like a muscle being stretched and tested. You'll begin to notice something remarkable. When you do one thing fully, your quality of work improves dramatically. You think clearer, you make better decisions. You complete things faster, not because you rushed, but because you were present. That feeling of satisfaction after finishing something well done, that's what builds momentum. That's what builds confidence. You don't have to do everything today, you just have to do one thing completely. One thing done with excellence is more powerful than 10 things done halfway. The world rewards finishers, not starters. So eliminate the noise and simplify your focus. Choose the one task that truly matters right now and give it everything you've got. The moment you master that one thing, move to the next. That's how mountains are moved, one focused step at a time. Remember, doing one thing like it's the only thing isn't just a work habit, it's a mindset. It's how you build mastery. It's how you create momentum. It's how you win in a world that's busy doing everything but finishing nothing. Number 6, protect your mental fuel before it runs out. You can't focus when your tank is empty. You can have the best goals, the right mindset, and a powerful work ethic. But if you don't have the energy to sustain them, you'll burn out before you even reach the halfway mark. Focus doesn't just come from discipline. It comes from energy. And your energy, both physical and mental, is your most valuable resource. Every decision, every task, every distraction costs energy. That's why by noon, most people already feel mentally drained. Not because they've done too much, but because they've wasted their energy on the wrong things. They wake up scrolling through social media, arguing with nonsense, worrying about things that don't matter, and then wonder why they can't concentrate later. You don't run a marathon by sprinting out of the gate. You pace yourself. Protect your stamina and conserve energy for what truly matters. The same rule applies to your mind. You have a limited amount of mental fuel each day, and you must decide carefully where to spend it. When you say yes to every request, every distraction, every temptation, you drain yourself. Protecting your focus starts with protecting your energy. Sleep is the first layer. Don't underestimate it. When you cut your rest short, you're not saving time. You're borrowing energy from tomorrow. And that debt always comes due. A tired mind is an unfocused mind. No amount of coffee or motivation can fix a brain that's running on fumes. Rest deeply. Sleep on time. Wake up early, refreshed, and ready. That's not luxury. That's maintenance. Next, pay attention to what you feed your body. Junk food may fill your stomach, but it empties your focus. Your brain runs on what you eat. Choose fuel that sustains you. Clean, simple, balanced. The sharper your body, the sharper your mind. Then there's mental nutrition, the information you consume. Every word you read, every conversation you entertain, every video you watch either fills or drains your mind. If you spend your day absorbing negativity, comparison, and gossip, don't be surprised when you feel exhausted without doing anything meaningful. Choose input that energizes you, not depletes you. And finally, give yourself permission to pause. You're not a machine. Even machines overheat if they run nonstop. Step away, take short breaks to breathe, walk, or simply think. That's not wasting time. That's refueling it. The most focused people in the world are not the ones who grind endlessly, but the ones who know when to step back, recharge, and come back stronger. You can't win if you're constantly running on empty. Protect your mental fuel like it's gold. Guard your sleep, your food, your energy, and your peace. Say no to what drains you, and yes to what strengthens you. Because once your energy is gone, focus disappears. But when your energy is high, your mind becomes sharp, your discipline becomes natural, and your goals finally start to feel possible. Focus isn't just a mental skill, it's the result of a fully charged mind. So protect that fuel, and your focus will never fail you. Number 7, cut off what doesn't deserve your attention. Every day, your attention is being pulled in 100 directions. Some things deserve it, but most don't. You have limited time, limited energy, and limited focus. Yet most people waste those precious resources on things that give nothing back. They chase every notification, argue with every critic, try to fix every small problem, and then wonder why they have no energy left for what truly matters. You cannot live a focused life while entertaining distractions. You can't move forward if you're still trying to carry everything and everyone with you. The truth is, not everything deserves your attention. Not every situation needs a reaction. Not every battle is worth fighting. You must learn the art of cutting things off, not out of arrogance, but out of respect for your purpose. There's power in saying no. It's one of the hardest things to learn because we grow up wanting to please everyone. But every yes to something meaningless is a no to something important. Every time you agree to nonsense, you delay your progress. You can't focus on building your dream while constantly responding to distractions. The greatest achievers didn't do more than everyone else. They simply stopped doing what didn't matter. Take a look at your life right now. Who or what constantly drains your energy without adding value? It might be certain people, toxic conversations, mindless scrolling, or endless entertainment. These things don't seem dangerous in the moment, but they eat away at your attention little by little, until you wake up feeling lost and unmotivated. The problem isn't always lack of motivation. Sometimes it's simply too many leaks in your focus. You must become protective of your mental space. Learn to disconnect from noise disguised as connection. You don't need to respond to every message the moment it appears. You don't have to attend every event, reply to every comment, or follow every trend. The more selective you become, the stronger you grow. You don't owe your attention to anyone or anything that doesn't align with your growth. This discipline isn't cold, it's clarity. When you cut off what doesn't deserve your attention, you make room for what does. You start feeling lighter, sharper, more centered. Your thoughts become clear because they're no longer tangled in other people's drama or meaningless distractions. That's when progress accelerates. When your attention finally belongs to you again. It takes courage to walk away from what's familiar but unfruitful. Yet once you do, you'll realize you didn't lose anything important. You simply lost what was holding you back. So make it a rule. Your attention is expensive, and not everything can afford it. Protect it. Guard it. Give it only to people, goals, and habits that make you stronger. The moment you stop feeding distractions, your focus multiplies. Remember, what you give attention to grows. If you feed noise, you'll live in chaos. But if you feed focus, you'll live in peace and power. Number 8. Make boredom work for you. Most people can't handle boredom anymore. The moment there's silence, they reach for their phones. The instant they feel stillness, they scroll, swipe, or click. Anything to avoid being alone with their thoughts. But what they don't realize is that boredom is not the enemy. It's the gateway to deep focus, creativity, and self-mastery. The inability to sit quietly with yourself is one of the biggest reasons people never discover what they're truly capable of. We've been conditioned to think that constant stimulation equals productivity. But in reality, it's the exact opposite. When your mind is constantly flooded with noise, music, notifications, videos, conversations, it never gets the chance to breathe. You can't focus deeply because your brain is always chasing the next hit of excitement. Yet the world's most disciplined and focused people are those who can sit still, think, and stay present without needing constant entertainment. Boredom is your mind's way of saying, I'm ready for something deeper. It's an invitation to focus, to reflect, to create. The problem is, most people escape that moment before it bears fruit. They run from the discomfort instead of using it. But if you learn to embrace boredom, you'll begin to notice something powerful. Your thoughts start to organize themselves. Your priorities become clear. Your creativity wakes up. Try this. Spend just a few minutes each day doing absolutely nothing. No phone, no music, no talking. Sit with your thoughts. Let your mind wander naturally. At first, it'll feel uncomfortable because your brain is addicted to stimulation. But if you stay with it, something beautiful happens. You begin to notice the clutter in your mind clearing out. New ideas begin to surface. Your focus returns stronger than ever. Every time you resist the urge to distract yourself, you strengthen your ability to concentrate. That's how mental endurance is built. Not by doing more, but by learning to stay still. You're training your mind to stop running from silence and start finding power in it. Great thinkers, leaders, and creators all have one thing in common. They spend time alone. They understood that solitude isn't isolation. It's preparation. It's the place where clarity is born. You can't hear your inner direction when the world is constantly shouting in your ear. You need quiet. You need stillness. You need moments where you can just be. When you make boredom your ally, you turn a weakness into strength. You stop chasing stimulation and start creating from peace. That's when you'll find the deep focus that others only dream of. The kind of focus that turns long hours into masterpieces, confusion into direction, and dreams into reality. So the next time you feel bored, don't escape it. Lean into it. Let your mind rest, reflect, and recharge. Because in that stillness, something powerful is happening inside you. You're rebuilding your attention. You're sharpening your awareness. You're learning to master yourself. And the person who can sit with boredom without distraction is already ahead of those who can't sit still for a minute. Number 9. Turn discipline into automatic focus. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. But here's the truth. Most people rely on motivation, and that's why they never stay consistent. Motivation comes and goes. It's like the weather. Some days it's there, some days it's not. Discipline, however, is different. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It's about doing what needs to be done. especially when you don't feel like doing it. And when you master discipline, focus stops being a struggle. It becomes automatic. Think about it. You don't have to motivate yourself to brush your teeth or tie your shoes. You do it automatically because it's part of your routine. That's how your focus should be. Not something you chase, but something that flows naturally through habits and structure. The key is systems. Systems build discipline. Discipline builds focus. If you're trying to depend on willpower every day, you'll burn out fast. But when you build systems, morning routines, scheduled work blocks, distraction-free environments, you don't have to try to focus. Your life itself becomes designed for it. Start by creating small rituals around the things that matter most. If you want to read more, have a set time every day when you open that book. If you want to work deeply, set a timer, remove distractions, and don't stop until the time is up. Do this every day until it becomes normal. That's how habits are formed, not by intensity, but by consistency. The mind loves patterns. When you give it a structured rhythm, it adapts. It starts to expect focus instead of resisting it. That's the beauty of discipline. It rewires your brain for clarity. You begin to notice that your attention doesn't wander as much. You don't have to fight with yourself anymore. You just show up, do the work, and the results begin to compound. Understand this. Focus is not about forcing yourself to work harder. It's about removing the decision-making that drains your energy. When your actions become automatic, your focus becomes effortless. That's why some people seem naturally productive. They've built systems that carry them forward even when they're tired, bored, or unmotivated. You can do the same. Create an environment that makes it easy to stay consistent and hard to get distracted. Prepare the night before. Simplify your workspace. Remove temptations from your phone and surroundings. These small steps might seem simple, but they build momentum, and momentum is what keeps discipline alive. Once discipline becomes part of you, focus stops being something you do. It becomes something you are. You don't have to push yourself anymore. Your habits pull you forward. You become a person who follows through no matter what. So stop waiting to feel ready. Start building the systems that make focus automatic. Because when you no longer depend on motivation, when your discipline runs on autopilot, that's when you become unstoppable. You'll look back one day and realize that success didn't come from huge bursts of inspiration, but from the quiet power of daily discipline. Number 10, surround yourself with focused people. You can't stay focused in an environment that thrives on distraction. No matter how strong your mindset is, your surroundings will shape your habits. You can't expect to stay disciplined while everyone around you is wasting time. Energy is contagious, whether it's positive or negative. And that's why you must be intentional about who you spend your time with. If you surround yourself with people who complain, procrastinate, and avoid responsibility, you'll slowly start to do the same. It doesn't happen overnight. It's subtle. You start picking up their excuses, their laziness, their lack of urgency. Before long, your goals feel distant. Your focus fades, and you can't even explain why. That's the power of environment. It either fuels your fire or drains it. But when you're around focused, disciplined people, something shifts inside you. Their energy wakes you up. Their standards challenge you. They remind you that excellence is normal, not rare. You start to think bigger, move faster, and demand more from yourself. That's why being in the right circle isn't just helpful, it's essential. Find people who value their time, who are building something meaningful, who hold themselves accountable. These people don't waste their mornings scrolling or their evenings gossiping. They're too busy working on their vision. When you spend time around them, their habits start to rub off on you. You become sharper, more consistent, and more aware of how precious your attention really is. You don't need a crowd, you need alignment. Even one or two focused people in your circle can change your direction completely. Have conversations that challenge your thinking, not ones that drain your energy. Talk about ideas, not people. Talk about growth, not gossip. Every word you exchange either feeds your focus or steals it. And if you can't find those people right now, become one yourself. Be the focused person others can learn from. Lead by example. Set boundaries. Choose your priorities. People who are serious about their purpose will naturally find you, like attracts like. This doesn't mean you cut everyone off or live in isolation. It means you become selective. You protect your environment the same way you protect your mind. If someone constantly distracts you, pulls you off course, or disrespects your goals, you have to limit their influence. Not because you're better than them, but because you're becoming better for yourself. Remember, your focus will only be as strong as the environment that surrounds it. You can't expect to stay sharp in a dull atmosphere. You can't grow in a place that keeps you small. So look around. Who do you spend your time with? Do they remind you of your potential, or do they distract you from it? Choose wisely. Build a circle that challenges your excuses and pushes you toward greatness. Because when you surround yourself with focused people, your life begins to mirror theirs. You stop drifting, start aiming, and finally move with purpose. And that's when focus stops being something you chase. It becomes the air you breathe. Number 11, turn off the world and turn on your mind. We live in a world that never shuts up. The noise is constant. News, messages, opinions, entertainment, notifications, a never-ending stream of voices trying to tell you who to be, what to think, and how to feel. You don't even realize how loud it is until you finally turn it off. That's when you discover how much of your attention has been stolen without your permission. If you truly want focus, you have to step away from the world for a while. Not forever, just long enough to hear your own thoughts again. You can't think deeply when your mind is crowded. You can't find direction when everyone's shouting theirs. Sometimes silence is not just peace, it's power. It's the reset your mind desperately needs. Start by disconnecting on purpose. Turn off your phone for a while. Step away from screens. Sit quietly, even if it feels uncomfortable. That discomfort is your brain detoxing from overstimulation. We've become addicted to distraction, to the constant buzz that keeps us from facing what's really going on inside. But when you turn off the world, you start to reconnect with yourself. In that stillness, ideas return. Clarity comes back. You begin to notice what truly matters and what doesn't. The answers you've been searching for in podcasts, posts, and videos, they were never out there. They were always inside you, buried under noise. When you turn off the world, you finally give those answers a chance to speak. Don't underestimate the power of solitude. Some of your biggest breakthroughs will come when you're alone, walking, thinking, reflecting, not scrolling, not reacting, just being. That's where your creativity lives. That's where your inner strength grows. You don't need constant input to evolve. You need space to think. Try taking a digital fast once a week, a few hours, or even a full day where you cut off all unnecessary connection. No social media, no endless messages, no mindless entertainment. Use that time to plan, to read, to write, or simply to breathe. Watch how your focus sharpens. Watch how your anxiety fades. The more you detach from the noise, the stronger your inner voice becomes. People fear silence because it feels empty. But in truth, it's full of wisdom, full of strength, full of awareness. The mind can't grow in chaos. It grows in calm. And if you never disconnect, you'll always be reacting, never creating, never leading. You can't master focus in a world that controls your attention every second. You have to take it back. You have to learn the discipline of disconnecting. So turn off the world and turn on your mind. Step back from the noise and step into your own space. Because once you can hear yourself clearly, you'll never be lost again. You'll stop following distractions and start following direction. That's where real focus begins, not in the noise, but in the silence you choose to create. Number 12. Focus isn't about working more. It's about working right. So many people think focus means grinding endlessly, staying up late, and pushing harder every single day. They believe the key to success is found in doing more. But that's a lie. Focus isn't about how much you do. It's about how well you do what truly matters. The goal isn't to fill your hours, it's to make your hours count. You can work 12 hours a day and still accomplish less than someone who works 5 with clarity. Because productivity without direction is just motion without meaning. You can't measure success by how tired you are at the end of the day. You measure it by how much closer you are to what actually matters. The truth is, most people are busy, not effective. They chase every task, answer every message, and fill every moment. But at the end of the day, they feel empty. Why? Because they confuse activity with achievement. They work hard, but they're working in circles. If you want real focus, you have to shift from doing more to doing right. Start with clarity. Ask yourself what's truly important. What will move your life? Your work? Your dream forward? Everything else is noise. You don't have to do 10 things today. You just have to do the right thing today. The world celebrates people who seem to do it all. But the truth is, the most successful people are ruthless about what they ignore. They don't try to manage everything. They focus on what creates results. When you learn to work right, not just hard, everything changes. You stop wasting your energy on minor details. You stop chasing distractions disguised as opportunities. You begin to operate with precision instead of chaos. You plan before you act. You pause before you react. And suddenly, your results multiply. Not because you're working longer, but because you're working smarter. Remember this: success doesn't come from the hours you work. It comes from the value you create within those hours. One focused hour can accomplish more than a distracted day. The mind performs best when it's directed, not scattered. The body performs best when it's rested, not exhausted. You can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't produce your best work when you're running on fumes. Working right also means knowing when to stop. Focus isn't endless intensity. It's controlled energy. Rest is not a weakness. It's a weapon. When you recharge, you return sharper, more creative, and ready to perform at your peak. Balance doesn't mean laziness. It means longevity. So stop wearing exhaustion like a badge of honor. Stop mistaking busyness for importance. The secret to lasting focus is alignment. Aligning your effort with your purpose. Every action should serve a direction. Every task should lead to progress. Focus isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters. With all of your attention, all of your energy, and all of your heart. When you learn to work right, not just hard, you stop surviving the day and start mastering it. The world belongs to the focused. Not the smartest, not the fastest, but the ones who can keep their attention steady when everyone else is distracted. Focus is not a skill you're born with. It's a discipline you build. It's the quiet strength that grows every time you choose purpose over noise, clarity over confusion, and direction over distraction. Think about how most people live today, constantly pulled, endlessly scrolling, reacting to everything that flashes across their screens. They start their days in chaos and end them in exhaustion, never realizing they've given their best energy to things that don't matter. But you're not here to live that way. You're here to take your attention back. Because once you control your focus, you control your future. The secret isn't in doing more. It's in doing what matters most. It's in guarding your mind, structuring your day, and protecting your energy like it's sacred. It's in saying no to distractions that offer pleasure now but steal progress later. The world will never stop trying to grab your attention, but you can choose where it goes. And that single choice, made daily, separates the average from the unstoppable. Remember, focus is freedom. When your mind is clear, your path becomes simple. You stop chasing and start creating. You stop reacting and start leading. You become calm under pressure, confident under chaos, and consistent when others give up. So take what you've learned and put it into action. Wake up with purpose. Plan your day with intention. Cut off the noise, build the habits, and protect your peace. Make focus your way of life. Not something you practice occasionally, but something you live by every single day. Because once you master your focus, you don't just get more done, you become someone new, someone unstoppable, someone disciplined, someone who finishes what they start. That's the real secret to becoming a focused machine. Not to control the world around you, but to command the world within you.